Hey, Eloise Ansell here. Hello, welcome to my channel, beautiful you. So, this week, when I sat and tuned into what I need to talk about, sparking joy came into my head. So, we're going to talk about joy. Hey, welcome back. Eloise here. I'm an intuitive healer based in the UK, and this week we're talking about joy. So, the first thing that comes to my head when I thought about this, like literally a minute ago, was I never script anything, can you tell? Was is it Marie Kondo's book, Sparks Joy? If you know who, I hope I'm saying her name right. I always, with my dyslexic brain, overthink things. The lady that's very good at cleaning up your and tidying your house. Put a link to the book. But in that book, when you're decluttering your house, she's like, pick up every item. I don't know, my hairband. Just like tune into that item and say, does this spark joy? And if it does, keep it. If it doesn't, chuck it away. Obviously, I'll keep my hairband because it's helpful. But but it's about, does this item spark joy for you? If it's not something really practical that you need, like your bed, but even then, does your bed spark joy, or should you buy a new bed? You can like granulate this down to all of your belongings, and I think it's a great way of decluttering. And for me, I think it's a great way of looking at our lives. So if I'm looking at any aspect of my life, I'm always asking, does that spark joy? Because it could be something I'm doing within my business. It could be recording these videos. It could be friendships. It could be activities I say yes to. I'm like, do they spark joy or not? And if they don't, it's time to get rid of them. So, practically we sometimes get caught up in doing things and saying yes to things out of habit, and our life is just like a series of choices that we make, and those little choices kind of add up to the whole. Now, sometimes we get dragged down like into a habit of doing something, and actually, do we enjoy that thing? I remember one of my best friends, when I first met her, said to me that she used to go out for coffee sometimes with people because they asked her. And she suddenly realised while she was at coffee with someone one day that she wasn't enjoying herself. So she decided to tell them she was leaving, and she just got up and went. And I was so taken aback by that. I'm like, it was the first time I realised that, like, if you say yes to having coffee, you don't have to sit there for 4 hours just chewing the fat with someone. And even if you're sat there going, I'd rather be somewhere else, or I've got things to do, or, you should be polite and stay. It's like being on dates. I have been on dates where, oh my word, I should have left straight away. But, I've stayed for hours sometimes, and there was one date in particular, it ended up being about 6 hours, and I always joke it's 6 hours of my life I'm never going to get back. This is a long while ago, when I used to just kind of be in that energy that it was polite, I should stay, and yeah, anyway, story for another day. But the energy of actually just acknowledging whether we're enjoying something, whether it's sparking joy or not, and in that moment being able to say, do you know what, I don't want to be here, and honouring that and being vulnerable with it and leaving. Now, obviously, there may be things that don't spark joy that you have to do, like going to the dentist, but maybe find a dentist that sparks a little bit more joy. But for the things that we're choosing in life day to day, it really is a good question to ask. For me, I tend to follow the joy. I want to do things that excite me, that are fun, that entertain me in some way, or, I feel like I'm really contributing to the earth, the planet, people, or something with whatever that activity is. If it doesn't excite me and it doesn't open possibilities for either me or people, or if it's not fun, I really don't want to do it. And so it's about just checking in moment to moment and saying, is this sparking joy? Is this sparking joy? Is this sparking joy? And if not, actually acknowledging that and choosing something different. Choosing to leave, choosing to stop that project that you're doing, or stop going to dinner with that friend that you don't have anything in common with anymore. It's interesting. So we can declutter more than just our belongings. We can declutter our friends and our job, and if there's tasks that you don't like in your job or in your life, outsource them. Get a cleaner, get a personal assistant. Choosing something and someone to take things off you could open up a lot more for you. So my question to you is, where in your life are you doing things that aren't sparking joy? What could you declutter? What could you start to say no to? Or, even if it's let's say you go for dinner with a certain friend once every couple of weeks. What if you made it once a month, or something that makes a little bit more space for you? You don't have to say, right, I'm cutting this person out of my life, but you could start to feed back how you're feeling and noticing, and then start to make more space for things that do spark joy. So you may know I do a lot of dancing. That sparks joy. I went dancing last night. I had so much fun. It was really good. And, the music was great. The people were great. It was a bit hot, but it was so much joy. And it was, just so much fun. And I'm like, oh, more of that, please, universe. More of that, please. So you want to do things that are fun and light you up, and that feel light. If things feel heavy and contracted, it's not going to be fun. And you don't want to fill your life with heavy things that have no fun and joy to them. We want to at least be doing some things every day that are light and joyful and happy. So declutter everything. You might want to start decluttering your house. Highly recommend that. Obviously, I've just moved. If you've been watching my videos, you may be aware, a new backdrop. Still temporary, still work in progress. But I decluttered a lot before the move, but I've still got a lot to do, and I'm not going to beat myself up that I have to get it done in 5 minutes. But that kind of process of hey, does this spark joy for me? Is it practical? Do things need replacing that I've been, putting off? This cupboard, some friends gave it to me years ago. They were getting rid of it, and I'm like, oh, I'll have it. And it's brilliant because I can shut the door and just chuck lots of work stuff in it, like cables and leaflets and things like that. It's awesome. But this time with the move, I'm like, oh my word, this thing is falling apart. They've probably taken it apart and put it back together many times. I've now done that a few times, and I'm like, it's not going anywhere after this move. The back's coming off, not that you can see that, but things falling apart, and I'm like, yeah, it's on its last legs, but it still sparks joy and it's practical for me, so it's gonna stay for now. And it might move. It'll probably fall apart if I move it though. So but it's looking at things like that, I'm like, okay, it's kind of broken, but it's still serving its purpose. It's still bringing me joy in some capacity, so it can stay for now. But it might go on the things to upgrade at some point this year list. to look at your life and go, okay, for me, it's like underwear. Sometimes we just put up with underwear that's gone a bit old, and I always buy, sorry, very TMI maybe. I always buy underwear that's got this lovely lace, well, lace kind of layer at the top, but quite often I just put my thumb through it, taking my pants down or up. It's just like, oh, and in the UK, pants are underwear, not trousers, just to clarify. So, like, after a while, it just gets this hole, it just appears, always on the right side. And so every now and again, I'm like, right, you need to go in the bin, time for some new underwear. And, not put, I want to feel good in my clothes. I want to enjoy my clothes. Having holes in them, not so much. So, brain, remember not to make a hole in them every time I wear them. But also, it doesn't spark joy for me to keep them. So it's those little things sometimes that we put up with that we don't upgrade, we don't get rid of. And this isn't about like throwing everything out and spending loads of money, but it's acknowledging where we could very simply go to the supermarket and pay for a new pack of underwear. It would bring you joy and be brand new and lovely, instead of putting up with the holy ones. So, like, it's the little things as well as the big things. And those little things, those little choices of what we put up with, that we just have around because it's easier, they kind of add up. Like, if all my furniture was like this cupboard, it would all be falling down, and that would be insane. So I'm not going to go and upgrade all my furniture at once. But if the energy's there and something catches my eye that would serve the same purpose as this and would be affordable, I might choose to upgrade it because that would spark joy and stop me worrying about it falling over while I'm recording a video. So really pay attention to every choice you're making, what's going on in your lives, and follow the joy. Look at what's light, look at what sparks joy. And not just in your belongings, but with your interactions, with your hobbies. We change, our bodies change, what we need changes. Like I always say with exercise, like my body will get into a pattern and a rhythm of wanting one activity, and then it'll be like, nah, done with that, can we do this instead? And then I'll do that for a few months or a few weeks or 2 days or whatever it is. Like, we change, our body changes, what we eat might need to get changed, how we exercise might need to get changed. And doing something new and revitalising sparks more joy, brings us more joy, and makes life more enjoyable. So take a look at your life, take a look at the choices you're making, take a look at your furniture. Where are you putting up with stuff that you could easily sort out, upgrade, replace? And where are you saying yes to things that are really heavy? We can't change everything in a day, but if we start to pay attention and look through that lens of looking for joy, we will start to notice patterns in what we're doing which isn't serving us and doesn't feel good. So pay attention. Okay, have a great week. Take care. Bye. Oh, and if you want to tune into more magic, I have this lovely series called The Magic of You, and that sparked joy for me to mention it at the end of the video. So if you want to check that out, I'll put a link below. If not, have a great weekend, day, whatever. Bye.